Pointed with the use of the ball, they didn't use it very well, but let me give credit to the Ireland tackling. Their back row I thought tackled outstandingly well, and their midfield were quite magnificent, and we saw one bit of magic from Richard Wallace coming in, putting Brendan Mullen in, so they thoroughly deserved their victory.
Well, Terry Kingston and Jan Evans, who may well be respective captains when the sides meet in the World Cup, the Irish will be very pleased with this victory, their first of the season, consigning Wales to the wooden spoon. The final score at the National Stadium, Wales 12 and Ireland victors with 16.
And it gives us a final Five Nations table, which looks like this. The wooden spoon going to last year's champions Wales, and England's victory at Twickenham today, 24-12 over Scotland, giving them a record 11th Grand Slam. Scotland finishing second, with France third. We'll have more reaction to this afternoon's Five Nations action after 5 o'clock, and more reaction still in Rugby Special tomorrow afternoon, 5:10, BBC Two. But we have neglected the soccer just a little, so let's take you straight to the video printer as the results start to come in. In the Scottish Premiership, Motherwell 2, Dundee United 1, and Rangers have been beaten in the Premiership as well. Hearts 2, Rangers 1. Hearts goals from John Robertson and John Miller. In the FA Carling Premiership, it's Leeds United 3, Coventry City 0, latest score. Blackburn 2-1 up on Chelsea. Blackburn could go 6 points clear at the top of the Premiership tonight. And at Selhurst Park, the tenants versus landlords match has finished. Wimbledon 2, Crystal Palace 0. Tony Gubber can tell us how.
Well, Wimbledon well worth their win, and maybe beginning to think that they can improve on that 6th place finish in the Premier Division last season. They were 10th at the start of the match this afternoon, and 3 points were well deserved for a tidy performance against a Palace side who started brightly with Solarco and Armstrong looking threatening, but then just seemed to run out of ideas, and in the end all they had were the little flick-ons off the forehead of Ian Dowie. The Wimbledon goals came from Vinnie Jones after 36 minutes, throwing himself bravely at a corner. The ball seemed to go in off his ear. He looked as if he was facing the wrong way when he headed it in, but it didn't matter because it found the back of the net. Then in the second half, Palace threatening, and suddenly the attack had broken down. Wimbledon broke out very, very quickly, and there was Marcus Gale to hit a left-foot shot across the front of the goalkeeper Nigel Martin and in off the foot of the post. There was one nasty flare-up right at the start of the match when Eric Young went in strongly on the goalkeeper Neil Sullivan, and one or two Wimbledon players reacted, but fortunately after that the match settled down, and in the end Wimbledon just looked too good for them. 2-0.
And Crystal Palace with real relegation problems now. One of their relegation rivals, West Ham, they're 2-0 up at Aston Villa, still playing, I understand. Spurs 1, Leicester City 0. Latest score, Jurgen Klinsmann, the Spurs scorer. But as you can see, having gone through there, final whistle has gone at Nottingham Forest. Forest 3, Southampton 0. Our man there, Ralph Della.
All the spotlight on Southampton goal, where Dave Besson initially acquitted himself well, but it was Mark Crossley at the other end who made 3 crucial saves to deny a lively Southampton side early on. Besson stood no chance when Roy gave Forest the lead in the first half. The ball broke kindly for the Dutchman, but then his class, pace and poise allowed him to cut inside to deliver a curling shot on target from the edge of the area. Phillips and Stone tore the Southampton defence apart for Collymore to tap in Forest's second, and Roy added a third through Besson's hands. As Forest increased the pace, Southampton's plight and their own chances of a place in Europe.
Manchester City 3, Sheffield Wednesday 2 is the final score. Queen's Park Rangers 2, Everton 2 is the latest score. Everton coming back well. Stuart Barlow and Alan McDonald, their scorers. Meanwhile, in Scotland, defeat for Rangers today, 2-1 at Hearts. We can hear all about that from Jock Brown.
Well, Rangers failed for the third time in succession to win a league match, losing by 2-1 to a buoyant Hearts side, which took the game by the scruff of the neck right from the start. In 9 minutes, John Robertson accepted Gary Mackay's pass to drill home the opening goal, and then Dave McPherson led the charge on a breakaway to score a second after half an hour when David Hagan's cross was looped in with a header from John Miller. Just on half-time, Brian Laudrup scored a magnificent individual goal, and Rangers spent the whole second half trying without success to get the equaliser. It ended Hearts 2, Rangers 1.
Latest from Loftus Road, it's now Queen's Park Rangers 2, Everton 3 still playing in that match. Andy Hinchcliffe putting Everton in front. They were 2-1 down in that match. A good point, or a useful point, for Wolves this afternoon. Wolves 1, Watford 1. 6 points behind the leaders, but ahead of them, the leaders have struggled today in that first division. Tranmere Rovers trading by 2-0. at Luton. Middlesbrough at home to Derby County, 4-2 down, but Wolves picking up a point this afternoon, inching closer to the leaders. Division 3, Darlington 0, Mansfield 0. Division 2, Leyton Orient struggle again, losing at home 2-0 to Huddersfield. Division 2, Stockport 3, Crewe 1. And Division 3, Chesterfield 0, Wigan 0. Lee Mills got a couple of the Derby goals at Middlesbrough. They were 3-0 up, and Middlesbrough trying to stage a comeback, but as I say, 4-2 down. Spurs have beaten Leicester bottom, and seemingly doomed now. Jurgen Klinsmann, the Spurs scorer, after 37 minutes. Final score, Manchester City 3, Sheffield Wednesday 2, as I told you earlier. And Sheffield Wednesday were 2-0 ahead in that match. Guy Whittingham and Graham Hyde, but back came City well. And back came Everton well, as you can see there. Queen's Park Rangers 2, Everton 3. QPR ahead twice through Les Ferdinand and Kevin Gallen, but Andy Hinchcliffe getting the eventual winner for Everton. Wycombe 0, Birmingham 3, Division 2 Oxford 1, Bradford 0, Division 3 Barnet 4, Hartlepool 0. And the final whistle has gone at Ewood Park, and Blackburn Rovers have beaten Chelsea by 2-1, and they are now 6 points clear on Manchester United, who play tomorrow at Liverpool. So Blackburn 2, Chelsea 1, watched by Clive Tilsley.
Well, Blackburn were deserved winners. They had to come from behind to win the game. Mark Steen, in a bright Chelsea start, did well to fasten on the Furlong's header and put the visitors ahead after 3 minutes. But Blackburn poured on the pressure after that. Alan Shearer's 100th league goal levelled it, a blast from a great pass from Lasso. And then Shearer and Sutton combined beautifully to put Sherwood in for a great second goal just before half-time. Plenty more Blackburn pressure in the second half, but they just couldn't quite force the issue, and Furlong even had a chance later on to steal a point for Chelsea. It was the right result, though. Blackburn have lengthened their lead at the top.
And one other result there to pick out from the Premiership. Leeds United 3, Coventry City 0. Goals from Anthony Yeboah, Jonathan Gould, an own goal after 51 minutes, and Rodney Wallace. And that's Coventry's first Premiership defeat under their new boss, Ron Atkinson. Let's give you a full classified check.
The FA Carling Premiership. Aston Villa 0, West Ham United 2, Blackburn Rovers 2, Chelsea 1, not on the coupon. Leeds United 3, Coventry City 0, Manchester City 3, Sheffield Wednesday 2, Nottingham Forest 3, Southampton 0, Queen's Park Rangers 2, Everton 3, Tottenham Hotspur 1, Leicester City 0, Wimbledon 2, Crystal Palace 0, also not on the coupon. The Ensley Insurance League Division 1, Barnsley 3, Port Vale 1, Bristol City 1, Burnley 1, Luton Town 2, Tranmere Rovers 0, Middlesbrough 2, Derby County 4, Portsmouth 1, Southend United 1, Sheffield United 2, Charlton Athletic 1, Stoke City 0, Reading 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Watford 1. League Division 2, Blackpool 0, Bristol Rovers 2, Chester City 1, Cambridge United 3, Leyton Orient 0, Huddersfield Town 2, Oxford United 1, Bradford City 0, Peterborough United 0, Bournemouth 0, Plymouth Argyle 2, Hull City 1, Rotherham United 0, Brentford 2, Stockport County 3, Crewe Alexandra 1, Wrexham 0, Cardiff City 3, Wycombe Wanderers 0, Birmingham City 3, York City 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. League Division 3, Barnet 4, Hartlepool United 0, Carlisle United 2, Walsall 1, Chesterfield 0, Wigan Athletic 0, Colchester United 3, Exeter City 1, Darlington 0, Mansfield Town 0, Fulham 0, Doncaster Rovers 2, Gillingham 2, Scunthorpe United 2, Hereford United 2, Scarborough 1, Lincoln City 2, Rochdale 2, Northampton Town against Torquay United still playing, Preston North End 5, Bury 0. The Vauxhall Conference, Altrincham 2, Kettering Town 4, Bath City 1, Telford United 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 2, Merthyr Tydfil 1, Scarborough Town 0, Yeovil Town 3, Halifax Town 4, Welling United 0, Kidderminster Harriers 1, Woking 3, Northwich Victoria 1, Dover Athletic 3, Runcorn 3, Bromsgrove Rovers 1, Stafford Rangers 3, Gateshead 1, Stevenage Borough 5, Stalybridge Celtic 1. Bell Scottish Premier Division, Aberdeen 0, Hibernian 0. Celtic against Partick Thistle, this is a Pools panel result, home win. Falkirk against Kilmarnock, jackpot draw. Hartlepool Lothian 2, Rangers 1. Motherwell 2, Dundee United 1. Scottish First Division, United 0, Adrionians 2, Dundee 3, Clydebank 2. Hamilton Academicals against Dunfermline Athletic, away win. Wraith Rovers 1, Stranraer 1. St Mirren against St Johnstone, that is a no-score draw, 2 points. The Scottish Second Division, Brecon City 1, Greenock Morton 1, Clyde 1, East Fife 1, Dumbarton against Berwick Rangers, home win. Queen of the South 2, Meadowbank Thistle 3, Stirling Albion 3, Stenhousemuir 1. The Scottish Third Division, Albion Rovers versus East Stirlingshire, away win. Arbroath 2, Alloa Athletic 1, Cowdenbeath 1, Queen's Park 3, Forfar Athletic 4, Caledonian Thistle 1. Ross County against Montrose, home win. Other pools matches, Aylesbury United 2, Molesley 4, Bishop Stortford 1, St Albans 2, Bromley 2, Hayes 0. And Carshalton Athletic against Kingstonian, they're still playing there.
We've got some late results in from Division 3 of the Ainslie Insurance League. Northampton Town 2, Torquay United 0. And the other match on the pools where they're still playing, Carshalton 0, Kingstonian 0, as you can see, is a latest score. So the pools news, 7-1 all draws, 2 other score draws, 5 no-score draws, and that one result to come. No decision yet on telephone claims. And this is how the top, no it's not, it's 7-1 all draw check first of all. Numbers 8, 11, 13, 41, 47, 49 and 50. And the 2 other score draws are numbers 30 and 32. 5 no-score draws, numbers 18, 26, 28, 39 and 48. Now we can check the top of the Premiership, where Blackburn's lead over Manchester United is now 6 points after their win over Chelsea. United in action against Liverpool tomorrow. Newcastle face Arsenal tomorrow, while Nottingham Forest's victory over Southampton moves them above Liverpool into 4th place. Leeds are now 2 points behind Liverpool after beating Coventry. But it's Blackburn, for the time being at least, 6 points clear, and their goalkeeper Tim Sherwood is talking now with Clive Tilsley.
Convincing performance, but a close result.
Yeah, it was really. I mean, if we take all our chances, we win comfortably, but they defended quite hard. They worked hard in midfield and made it difficult for us.
I mean, you had so much of the game. Was there a stage towards the end when you started to become worried?
That's right. You get so many chances, you start thinking it's not going to be our day, but it proved that it was, and we got the 3 points. That's all we're worried about.
A lot's been said about Blackburn's style of play, but the start of the second goal, the one you scored in particular, was beautiful.
Yeah, I think there was a few one-touch moves, and Alan's put me in, and I didn't have to break my stride, straight into my stride, and I just tucked it in the corner. Really.
Now, how do you spend Sunday afternoon when you've lengthened your lead to 6 points?
Well, we can relax now. We've done our job. I mean, we win every game, we win the league, so it's over to them now, and hope Liverpool can do us a favour.
Will you put yourself through the ordeal of actually watching the game, or will you stay away?
I'll watch it because I think it's going to be a great game of football as it was last year, but I just hope Liverpool can win, obviously, but it's going to be hard for Liverpool because we know they're the champions.
Thanks for joining us, Tim.
Cheers.
Tim Sherwood, goal scorer, not goalkeeper, as will be confirmed on Match of the Day tonight. That's one of the games, Blackburn Rovers and Chelsea, Manchester City and Sheffield Wednesday, and you'll see how Wimbledon beat Crystal Palace by 2-0 at Selhurst Park this afternoon. The Wimbledon boss, Joe Kinnear, is with Tony Gubber.
Yes, Wimbledon beat them, and deservedly so. Playing 3 central defenders, Wimbledon worked a treat for you today, Joe. You looked in control all the time. 2-0 was a good win for you.
Yeah, I think so. I think we were in total command throughout the whole game, and never really gave us any problems. And I thought Vinnie Jones was fantastic today, and Warren Barton were probably the 2 outstanding players on the pitch.
I mean, there's 2 sides to Vinnie, isn't there? But we saw one side today. That corner came over, and he threw himself bravely at it. I think it went in off his ear, actually, but he knew where it was roughly going to be and stuck his head in.
Well, that's Jonesy to a T. I've been threatening to do it in various games. He's as brave as they come, and today we saw the good side of Vinnie Jones. So, all in all, I'm delighted with his contribution.
And your second goal, as Match of the Day viewers will see tonight, you turned defence into attack in the twinkling of an eye.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of pace now with Gailey and Goodney on the flanks and Dino holding it up front. And we're always liable to sting teams on the break. We've done it when we played over at Tottenham, but we've done it with Efan Akuku. And I try to do the same thing today.
Sure. Finally, after a difficult few days, it's a happy Wimbledon tonight, is it?
Yeah, it's nice to end the week on a good note, really, and smiles all the way around the dressing room. I think we're back up to 8th now, so arguably we've still got an outside chance of qualifying for Europe.
Wimbledon in Europe, there's a thought. Thanks very much, Joe.
Thank you.
At the bottom of the table doesn't provide much encouragement for Crystal Palace, or indeed Leicester. They went down to a late goal at Spurs. They stay bottom. Ipswich didn't play, while Southampton stay in 20th after that defeat at Forest, and Palace's defeat today sees them slip back into the bottom 4. But it was a good day for West Ham, who move up the table as a result of their win at Aston Villa. And in Scotland, this is the Scottish Premier Division tonight, with Rangers remaining the clear leaders despite their defeat at Hearts today. Motherwell's win over Dundee United has cut the gap at the top to 12 points. And at the other end, Partick Thistle's match at Celtic was postponed and they remain bottom. Aberdeen today had a goalless draw against Hibernian. Now, here at Twickenham, all the anticipation was justified, and England and Scotland produced a stirring climax to the Five Nations Championship. Meanwhile, in Cardiff, despair for Wales as they collected the wooden spoon, but England beating Scotland by 24 points to 12. And it's England who head for the World Cup with all the momentum of another Grand Slam behind them. But Scotland have every reason to be satisfied with their effort, and after 18 minutes they were ahead, just about the first time they were in the England half, and a Craig Chalmers drop goal putting them in front. All the points in the match coming from the boot, with Rob Andrew outstanding. 7 penalties and a drop goal. This was his second penalty, which put England in front for the first time. Not a great spectacle, tough match, short on passing movements, but these were the best.
Rodber, there's extra men out here as Guscott goes. Cat, the fullback, is over the halfway line. A blistering bit of pace by him. Guscott still into Scotland's 22. A tackle by Wright. Right in front of Scotland's post. And Scotland have won it. And it's out to Scott Hastings. A magnificent English move. Chalmers missed out Hastings to Townsend. Townsend, Hastings over the 22. Support from Joyner. Now the chance for Redpath here. Chalmers going. A chance there for Gavin Hastings. Back inside. But a very good interception there by Mike Catt. But that, the best Scottish handling move so far. Again Bayfield, and again Johnston. Ubogu. That then tackled by Wainwright on there to Rodber. Surging English forward play. Now the chance for Andrew. Carling on to Guscott. Guscott is clean through. A marvellous tackle there by Rob Wainwright. That's the Scottish goal line. A typical run by Jeremy Guscott. Bracken Out to Moore. Moore to Andrew. Andrew gets help from the forwards. Martin Johnson first of all. Rodber trying to work it clear, and it's Rodber who goes. English defenders, Scottish defence in panic situations here as Bracken goes. Andrew, little bit hesitant, but Carling. The tackle there by Ken Logan. Bracken once again. Campbell in on the tackle, and Peters as well. Another good third, fourth phase ball for England, but the Scots may have been offside. Chance here as it goes along to Rodber from Carling. Lovely take by Guscott. Cat in the line. Tony Underwood going over the 22. Scott Hastings just brought him down. A wonderful mazy run by Tony Underwood. Ben Clark is up there. England in complete charge at the moment as Rodber lends his weight. Mike Catt moving across into centre three-quarter position again. Andrew once again. Andrew with a chip kick through, and it might be a try indeed for Tony Underwood, but Brian Redpath was back there to save it. However, the Scots were offside. It's another penalty to England. A seventh penalty goal coming up for Rob Andrew, and that superb kicking by him. The referee's whistle goes for the end of the match, and England have brought the whole of Twickenham to their feet with a handsome victory in the end by 24 points to 12.
Swig of well-deserved champagne, Jack.
Yeah, a hard day at the office, Nigel. A hard day at the office, mainly for the players out there.
Big weight off your shoulders there.
Well, it is. You know, what a game for the players, though, that Scotland and England purportedly clear favourites. Scotland said no, when on the day it was a narrow game, wasn't it?
They are a tenacious bunch, aren't they?
They are. A lot of will to win. They just never gave ground, and when the score was really close before Rob took us away, they got very close to scoring a try which could well have tilted the game and the championship their way.
It does help to have a guy who can slot them like Rob did today.
Well, he's phenomenal, isn't he? For someone who used to be an iffy kicker, now he's majestic, and all credit to him. He puts in a lot of practice, but you've got to have the ability as well and the nerve, and he won the game for us.
England 24, Scotland 12, England's Grand Slam. Meanwhile, events at Cardiff, where last year's champions Wales, 4 defeats out of 4, collected the wooden spoon with their defeat at the hands of Ireland. But things didn't start well for the Irish. After this incident, the Irish fly-half Eric Elwood was carried off. He appeared to be unconscious, but the news from the hospital is, I understand, very encouraging. But a blow for Ireland early on. But as I say, the news that came later from the hospital is encouraging. His replacement in the match was Paul Burke, and he said Ireland on their way with a drop goal. Also, one try in the match, that came from Brendan Mullen.
Well taken in by Anthony Foley. He's got himself turned round. Closey in support. Popplewell is there as well. Now they seem to be looking to try to charge midfield to set it up to give themselves extra options. The Welsh defence is all right. Hogan, Burke, Danaher, back inside to Richard Wallace. Wallace has got a lot of pace. This is Wallace. This is Mullen to extend his record. Great try by Brendan Mullen. His 17th in major internationals. In this, his 10th game against the Welsh, and that really was the breakthrough Ireland were looking for.
It was a crucial game for both sides. We're both really sort of in a bit of a doldrum, and you know, we defended reasonably well. I mean, in fairness to the Welsh pack, they controlled it reasonably well in the second half. We didn't see too much of the ball, but from our point of view, once we got the penalty late in the second half, it was just a matter of defending our lead, and we managed to do it just about.
It was very important for the team to get a win because we haven't played that well during the Five Nations, and we didn't really care how we won today as long as we won, and we played very well in the last 10 minutes, which defence was brilliant, and all credit to the lads. You know, a win's a win.
That's the Five Nations complete. We'll just tidy up the soccer for you before we get the opinions of Nigel Starmer-Smith. That one result we were waiting for, Carshalton 0, Kingstonian 0, and I understand that means a possible jackpot on the pools. Telephone claims required for 23 or 23.5 points. Nigel Starmer-Smith, England's Grand Slam again, and deservedly so. They controlled this match, didn't they?
Yes, they're a team for all seasons. I mean, the thing one has to remember, they're not playing to entertain, they're playing for the biggest match of most of them's career.
And they're quite ruthless in that respect.
They are indeed, and you play as well as you're allowed to, and that was the positive side from the Scots. I know some of the England players are a bit upset afterwards about the Scottish tactics, but they were very easily anticipated. And England were able to keep their cool, and by the end were dominant. They were disappointed they didn't score a try, but they've scored 9 tries up till now. They've imposed themselves, and I think are continuing to go from strength to strength. Particularly, you see a player like Mike Catt coming through this season, Kieran Bracken growing in confidence, and a very solid lot up front who don't panic under pressure. They would have conceded points, with that kind of pressure in previous seasons.
What sort of message does this now send to the Southern Hemisphere with the summer in mind?
I think that this is a hard, tough, New Zealand-type pack of forwards. We're so often used to seeing All Blacks coming over here, dominant up front. This England side look capable of doing that kind of thing to other countries, that we've given ground to Southern Hemisphere packs of forwards time and again. Now we have an outfit that can give as good as they get. And I think that they will actually be apprehensive. This side, as I say, looks to have all-round capabilities. It also has nerve, a nerve of steel and experience and pace. I'd love to have seen a couple of those tries running, because I think in a way it would have done England justice.
Yeah, but another ruthless England performance. Nigel Starmer-Smith, thanks very much indeed. That's it from Grandstand on a very big day indeed at Twickenham. Scotland can take great credit for the way they performed throughout this Five Nations Championship, but it's England's Grand Slam, and maybe this summer we've got reason to hope could be England's World Cup as well. Bye-bye.